Hi, my name's George Grijalva, and I'm a carpet cleaner just like you. And this is my Specialty Stains DVD Part 1. I remember my first specialty stains like they were yesterday. I showed up at the customer's house and they said, "Can you get this stain out, that stain?" And I went out to my van and I called up the supply company where I get my cleaners and I said, "Hey, how do I get out this stain?" They said, "Do you have this cleaner?" Or, "How do I get out that stain?" They go, "Do you got this cleaner?" It wasn't until they recommended to me to take an IICRC carpet cleaning course that changed my whole world. Once I got out of that class, I had the confidence that I could handle any situation that was thrown at me. The other thing that I recommend is that you get a spotting kit. I like to use the PROCHEM spotting kit. What I do is I flip up the lid when I go to a job and they got a certain stain, and I look and it tells me exactly which cleaner to use to get out that stain. Now, all these jobs are 100% real jobs, no classroom stage situation. So you don't have to go through what I went through. Now, the one thing is, this next stain that's coming up is an ink stain, and I wish I would have brought this cool tool. You can see the fiber, it's magnified, so you can see exactly which fiber to snip with your scissors, just like a surgeon. So I'm going to use this at one of my jobs. But take a look at this. I know you're going to love it.
Our customers just bought this home and they're excited to move in, and there's an ink spot in the middle of one of the bedrooms. Now I'm going to show you a really technical technique to help you in a situation like this. I hope you like it.
First thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to snip out the fibers that have the most black ink on them. You see that fiber? And I'm going to see how many I can get away with without creating a bald spot. Now, if I create a bald spot, it's okay because I can do a bonded insert. It's a little tiny one. So you want to just take your time. I like using my tweezers for something like this. Okay. It's like you're doing surgery on some kind of brain tumor. So I've cut out quite a few. Let's see how it's looking right now. I could probably cut out a few more. Now the reason I'm cutting these is because I've had a lot of experience with ink. And you can turn this into a growing monster sometimes when you start cleaning it. It's a very, very touchy stain. So if you can get most of it out by snipping it before you use any kind of cleaner, then you might have some really good results. So let's go with that right now. And then we're going to put down some Solve ink. And I'd like to use a combination of citrus gel. Let's let that do its thing. And you can agitate it with your duckbills. Ooh, it's starting to move. So this is good news. This is very good news. This is really starting to move. So we'll let that sit for about 10 minutes. It's gone. All right. Now this next stain is a water stain, and it's really simple to get out, but there's a lot of carpet cleaners that have a tough time with these. If you just follow these simple steps, you're going to have great results. Take a look at this.
Okay, this is a water stain. The customer had a leak that came in through the door, and once the carpet dried, they ended up with this stain. And they've had several carpet cleaners try to get this out. They didn't think it was going to get out. They think I'm actually going to have to do a bonded insert, but let's see what we can do. So I like to use PROCHEM products, so I'm using a coffee tannin. So you want to use some kind of tannin product in this situation. It's made of mostly sodium bisulfite, and you want to put a reasonable amount on the carpet. And it's amazing how many times I've gone to jobs where they've had carpet cleaner after carpet cleaner try to get this out, and it's pretty simple if you just use the right steps. Once you got a reasonable amount of the tannin on there, you want to take your rake and you want to agitate the carpet, and you want to work that product down into the fibers and leave it for about maybe 15-20 minutes. Then I like to come back with my pre-spray, and I'm using Ultra Pack and 1 scoop of Oxy Plus, and I like to put a pretty heavy amount down on that carpet because I want to get out all that dinginess. And I've tried it before where I've just used the tannin product and just your all fiber rinse, but I've found that this works so much better. Now they thought I was going to have to do a bonded insert, so that's the piece of carpet that they had for me. But fortunately in this case we didn't have to do a bonded insert. We actually extracted it and we're able to get it out for the customer. So now I'm using my all fiber rinse and I'm going with slow heavy strokes over the carpet, and I'm just working out that stain, and you can see that it's looking really good. I think we're going to save the day in this situation. Look at that. Doesn't that look beautiful compared to how it did before? The customer is so thrilled. They thought I was going to actually have to do a patch, which probably would have turned out pretty bad because the carpet wasn't going to match up very good. Now what I like to do is I like to take the coffee tannin once again, and I like to spray a reasonable amount over the damaged area. This is just kind of a safeguard so that it doesn't wick or come back on me. And then I'll take my hard bristle rake once again and I'll agitate those fibers and just work all that product down into the bottom of the primary backing. And then I'll leave this. This is a product that you want to leave, and it'll just keep working while it's drying so that stain doesn't come back.
I did not make this just for this video, I swear. This is a really bad plant stain that has been here for the past 2 years. So to avoid a bonded insert, what I'm going to do is I'm going to extract it first because there's so much dirt. Then I'll use my coffee tannin and heavily soak it and hopefully get this up.
In this situation, I'm going to grab my pre-spray, my Ultra Pack, and my Oxy Plus, and I'm going to saturate this stain really good with this because there's so much soil in there. And we pre-vacuumed, and the customer's been vacuuming for years, so there's no more loose soil to actually remove. I mean, this is just a mess of a plant stain. Okay, now let's rinse that stain out. What I'm using is an all fiber rinse, and like I said, I like to use PROCHEM products, and PROCHEM makes all fiber rinse. If you don't have PROCHEM products and you have a different type of product, then you want to find your rinsing agent, which is more on the acid side, and this is running through my solution line. And when you rinse this out, you want to make sure that you're taking slow strokes and you're taking strong dry strokes. You don't want to leave too much moisture behind once you're finished with this stain. And you know what, you're just going to learn different techniques for different situations, and not all techniques work the same every single time. You got to be creative sometimes. But the stain is looking really good compared to how it was. Now I'm going to finish it off with some coffee tannin, and I'm going to leave this behind. So I'm going to put a reasonable amount on top of it. I'm going to rake it in real thoroughly, and I'm just going to leave it. So with that all fiber rinse and the coffee tannin, within about 24 hours, I mean, this stain's going to look great.
Now this next video is some urine stains, and this is a really good technique in most of your pet damage situations. It's going to be very effective. Now the one thing you didn't see is this cool tool right here. It's a moisture detector. What you do is you stick it in the carpet and it beeps where the pet damage is, and it's really impressive to the customer to show them that there's actually urine in the carpet and the pad. The other cool tool that's my favorite is the FBI UV light. You just shine it on the carpet and it shows those puddles of urine, and the customer goes, "Oh!" So take a look at this.
Do you see all those brown spots? These are urine stains that have been here for over 2 years. The customer has been living like this, and he doesn't think we're going to be able to get them out. So let's help this customer. The first thing we want to do is we want to spray a reasonable amount of PROCHEM odor rescue all over the urine stains. This is going to help remove the stains, and it's also got a deodorizer in there to help with any kind of smell. Whenever I'm dealing with urine stains, I like to get my sprayer up close and personal. I like to saturate that urine stain with the chemistry to be able to remove it properly. The secret to removing stains is using the right science, and in this situation, Odor Rescue is going to be perfect for the job. Another product that you can use to get out urine stains is Urine Rescue by PROCHEM. But I like Odor Rescue because not only is it a stain remover, but it's also a deodorizer. So it's going to help remove the stains, plus it's going to make the room smell good. Now you want to make sure you agitate this chemistry into the fibers. That's the secret to get the results we're looking for. Okay, it's time to hot water extract. So let's hot water extract with all fiber rinse at 230 degrees, and let's take our time here and thoroughly rinse out the urine. You don't want to move too quick over this carpet because you saw that there was a lot of urine there. It's been there for years. So we want to make sure that we remove as much of it as possible since we're not replacing pad. You also want to mention to the customer that they may smell urine when you get done because we have rehydrated this urine. And give it 2-3 days, it's going to go back down to laying dormant and everything will be good. Now these are the basic building blocks for pet damage. It's going to be really effective in a lot of situations. But if you want to learn more, get my pet damage DVD and we'll take you from a beginner to an expert. Now we're going to take it to the next level and we're going to spray Urine Rescue all over the carpet and rake it in. This is going to work over the next 24 hours to make sure that those urine stains don't come back. Make sure you ask the customer to keep their pets and kids off of the carpet until it dries because it will irritate their skin. If for any reason they get this on them, they can just wash it off with soap and water. Once the carpet dries, it will self-neutralize.
Now this next video that you're going to see is a secret pre-spray. I remember I was at this customer's house and the white carpet they had wasn't turning out the way I was hoping. So I called up my supply company and I said, hey, what do you suggest? They said what you do is you take a couple scoops of Oxy Plus, you put it in a pump sprayer, fill it up with hot water, and you spray it on the carpet and rake it in before you extract, and it'll turn out incredible. So I use this technique all the time. You should try it.
Now this is a secret pre-spray. What you do is you get a pump sprayer and you fill it up with hot water and you put 2 scoops of Oxy Plus in it. And then you shake it up really well, and you can use this to pre-spray your carpet before or after your hydro sprayer, or you can actually put the Oxy Plus in your hydro sprayer with your pre-spray like your Ultra Pack. But sometimes when I go to a house that has nothing but an off-white or white carpet and it's not really filthy, so I don't need to use my hydro sprayer with my Ultra Pack, I'll just use the Oxy Plus and I'll pre-spray the whole carpet with this. And what it does is it's an oxygen bleach and it will make the carpet turn out beautiful.
Now this next video that you're going to see is a really short one, but it really is a good tip on how to get air filtration soiling out. You're going to see me spray the Oxy Plus around a heater vent where they have air filtration soiling, and then you rake it in and you extract it, and you're going to remove air filtration soiling, I would say 90% of the time. You can use this exact same technique along the edges of the carpet. Now, I'm also going to come out with a DVD on air filtration soiling, so you'll get a lot more information, but this is a great tip.
This is also what I use on air filtration soiling. So if you have any air filtration soiling around vents or around edges of carpet, you pre-spray it with this, rake it in, leave it for about 15-20 minutes, let it work, and then you come back and rinse it out. You will be like the hero in most situations that other carpet cleaners couldn't fix.
Now most situations when you come across rust are really simple. You just take your rust remover, you squirt it on the stain, agitate it, and it'll extract right out. But in this situation, this was really unique, and I was thinking outside of the box on this one. Check it out. In this situation, what we have is we have a rust spot that was caused by the bed that was there. They spilt some milk from the baby's milk on there, and it created a rust spot. So that one looks a little tough, but we'll see what we can do with that one. On the rust spot, we're going to take some rust remover from out of the truck, and we're going to squirt it onto that rust area, just like so. And then you want to take a brush or your scissors or a bone scraper and just kind of agitate it over there so that chemistry can start working. Let's see if we can get some good results over there. And this is what I was talking about as far as using your brush. Just get it all agitated. Don't scrub it too much because you don't want to get any blossoming tips. But you could also use your bone scraper or your scissors just to agitate it. Okay, the rest didn't come out, but that's okay because I got a trick up my sleeve and I'll show you how that's going to work. Now with something like this rust spot that's right there, see how nasty that is? Now with something like this, you got to use your head. You can't just come in there and go, oh, Mrs. Jones, I couldn't get it out. You see how it's on the edge of the carpet? Well, that's actually working to our advantage because what you want to do is take your carpet awl, pull up the carpet right here. You don't have to, it's not a big repair, it's not a big deal. Lift up the carpet like so. And Mrs. Jones did want me to see if the tack strip was rusting underneath, and it looks good, it looks clean. Put it up like that. Take your knee sticker, get your teeth out, adjust it, and then just blast that wood stain into the edge there. And then you can tuck it in. Once you get it there, lock those teeth down by using the edge of your stair tool with the palm of your hand. So this is when you're going to use your rubber mallet, and you want to take your rubber mallet and you want to put it along the, take your stair tool, put it along the edge there. You got that carpet flipped up, you're going to hammer it, get it tucked under there, and hide that stain. Look at that. Big improvement. Then once you get that rust stain under there, you can really let it have it. Get it hidden. Even better. Hold it in place. Take your stair tool, tuck it under. Now this is the kind of stuff that Checkmate is known for, and this is what makes your job actually very rewarding because you get to use your head, you get to use some common sense, things that maybe the homeowner wouldn't have thought of, and you really win them over by doing stuff like this, and they're going to recommend us to everybody. See how much better that looks?
Now if you want to take it to the next level, this is what I always do. If I can't get the stain out with my extraction and cleaners, I'll mix up either some stain rescue or red rescue and leave it behind on the stain. You just got to pick one of them. You can't put them both down. And you want to leave it, and it's going to work over the next 24 hours. Now stain rescue is for organic stains, red rescue is for synthetic stains, but sometimes one will work better than the other, so just take your pick.
This next job, the lady had a Kool-Aid stain. Now Kool-Aid has synthetic dyes in it, so you need a product that's specifically designed to remove those. So what I recommend is Red Rescue in this situation. You spray the Red Rescue down, agitate it, put a white towel over the top, and steam it. Well, instead of me telling you about it, take a look.
Now the customer has a Kool-Aid stain and she tried to get it out using bleach and other products, so hopefully we can help her. Now the first thing you want to do is you want to mix up some Red Rescue. It's part A and part B, and you put it into a spray bottle or squirt bottle 50-50, so be sure to follow the directions correctly. PROCHEM also has a Red Rescue that's all in one, so just pick the product that you feel most comfortable with and work it into the fibers.
Now we're going to go ahead and extract it. Hope we get some good results.
Now, because we weren't able to get the stain out with extraction, we're going to take it to the next level. This is your last resort in a situation like this where you want to grab your steamer, put down more of the red rescue, or you can use an iron as well with a wet towel. Just as long as you can heat up that stain and heat up that chemistry, that's what's going to actively make it work. So you want to put down a reasonable amount of red rescue and then work it into your fibers with a little rake, or you can use your rubber gloves, however you want to do it, whatever you're comfortable with. And then we're going to put our white towel back over the stain and set our steamer on top, and we're going to just do this process over and over if we're starting to see positive results until we get that stain out. Wow, look at that. It's starting to look better already. Sometimes you gotta be a little patient. You gotta work on this for a while. You can't just put it down the first time and steam it and go, oh, it didn't work. You know, sometimes you need 4, 5, 6 different applications. We're getting pretty close. Now what you want to keep in mind is if you're getting a positive results, maybe it might be just a little bit of results, but you're seeing some results, you want to do the same application over and over and over because that means it's working. Okay, let's take a look and see how we're looking. This is looking a lot better. Now, because the customer has already done so much to the carpet, you could actually take your brush. Just be careful not to over scrub. But the customer's already done pretty much most of the damage, and so it's okay to just try to help out where you can to try to make it look as good as possible. Take the towel off, see if I can activate it a little bit more, but it's looking a lot better. Make sure to check some areas that you might have missed, like I just missed a little pink area right there. Customers really appreciate that. You take your time and do the best job you can. Now what I've done, I've taken the towel off. I'm just trying to activate that chemistry a little bit more. Just try to do the best I can to hide that stain. Sometimes if you can just hide the stain to the point where it'd be really hard for somebody to come over and notice, the customers are usually pretty pleased with that. And you can see, compared to how it was, that's looking pretty good. Okay guys, here's our final project. It looks fantastic. The customer is right beside me. She is ecstatic about the end results. We were able to remove her Kool-Aid stain. We were also able to take care of her rust stain that was over there along the edge of her baseboard. That was such an eyesore to her. So just remember, whenever you're doing a situation for a customer where you have some difficult specialty stains or repairs, just think about all the training that you have and learn from every experience, good or bad, and just do the best you can for every customer out there, because they're going to appreciate it, and then you're going to look in the mirror and you're going to really enjoy what you're doing for a living. Here's another water stain. Now these are really simple to correct as long as you follow the proper steps. You want to make sure that you don't clean it with an alkalinity. So I've made sure that I've bled my line, and I'm going to rinse this out thoroughly with an all-fiber rinse. Now this can also be used for coffee. If you had a coffee stain, you'd want to use these exact same steps. So I'm going to rinse thoroughly with all-fiber rinse, and then once I've actually rinsed it out, I'm going to take really strong dry strokes. This is so important. You don't want to leave too much moisture behind. Now that I've used a product on the acid side like all-fiber rinse, I'm going to stay there. I'm going to grab my coffee tannin, which is also on the acid side, and I'm going to apply it to the stain. Just use your common sense and put on a reasonable amount of your tannin product, and don't be too sparingly with it, and don't overdo it as well. And once you've actually got enough on there, then the next thing you want to do is you want to grab your hard bristle rake or your plush rake, whichever one you decide on, and you just want to rake that product down into the primary backing so that you have full coverage on the fibers, and just leave it, and it'll do its magic, and sometime by tomorrow that water stain should be gone. But you'll see a big improvement just by cleaning it. This is a must-have. This is a staple in every carpet cleaner's van. You need to have a spotting kit, because if you get a stain and you don't know how to get it out, let's just say it was red lipstick or gravy, ink, soda pop, any stain that you could possibly come up with tar, gum. It's in this box, and it's going to tell you exactly which product to use to get it out. And sometimes it has 2 or 3 different products. So if one didn't work, you just keep going until you find the one that works. And I can't tell you how many times this has made me look like an expert. If you don't have a spot cleaning belt, I highly recommend that you get one. I love having a spot cleaning belt because I carry my 4 favorite spot cleaners at all times, and they're right there on my hip. I don't have to run out to my van and get any of my cleaners, and when I come across gum, I can just grab my citrus gel. If I come across any food, I can grab my protein remover. If I come across any paint, oil, or grease, I can use either citrus gel, or I can also use the POG, and then I also have power solvent. And these products will get about any of the stains out that I come across, and then when I can't, then I go and get my spot cleaning kit, and then I look at what the stain is or what it could be. I ask the customer, I do some investigating, but sometimes you just got to try different products until it pops out. And you just use common sense, and a lot of times you'll figure out a product that will actually work. Another tool I like to keep in my spotting belt is a bone scraper. It's very important because when you're using these products, you want to use the bone scraper to assist you in removing the stains. Now, if you're not refilling these spot cleaners in your spot cleaning belt, you're not doing as good of a job as you could be doing out there, because I refill these every single morning because I use these on so many different stains, because I want to make sure that I'm getting out the stain that the other guy couldn't get out, and I want to make sure it doesn't come back. So when you use these products and you rinse it out thoroughly, you're going to do a much better job than your competitors. Customers really hate when a spot wicks back up, and when people have a light colored carpet or a white carpet or an off-white carpet, they seem to always get these little brown spots or these little gray spots. I found that citrus gel is the best for these spots. I love to just squirt it on, grab my bone scraper, agitate it before I do any hot water extracting or pre-spraying, and this sits on there for 15-20 minutes, and then by the time I hot water extract it, that stain is never coming back.
This next job I can't wait to share with you. I was so excited when I got there. The lady had a party, and one of her friends spilt a whole glass of red Merlot wine on the carpet. She spent hours researching on Google how to get it out, and they tried everything and had no luck. Well, this is exactly what we did to get this situation out, and I think you're really going to learn a lot.
This is a really bad wine stain, and I wanted to show you this is not going to just extract out. You're going to need the right products to remove this wine stain. The first thing you want to do with any kind of wine stain, juice stain, any organic stain that you can't get out is you want to use your stain rescue. Now look at this. When I'm applying just the stain rescue to the wine stain, it's already starting to have a chemical reaction and remove the stain. Now when you're using your stain rescue, what you do is you mix it up in a spray bottle or one of these squeeze bottles, 50-50, part A and part B. The next step that you want to do is you want to grab your hand groomer or your hard bristle rake, and you want to agitate the chemistry. You want to work it into the wine stain so that way that chemistry can work for you. And it's going to do most of the work before you even start to extract it. So we're going to leave that for about 15 to 20 minutes while we go start up the machine. Look at that stain compared to how it was. That product works so incredible. Now we're going to hot water extract it, and whenever you're coming out for a stain like this, you don't want to just clean the stain, you want to take it to the next level of customer service. So I'm cleaning this entire room. I was originally called out for this red wine stain and a puke stain that was caused by their cat. And you don't want to just do the stain that they call you out for. You want to make sure that they feel like they got more than they paid for. So I'm cleaning this entire room, and I just want to show them how I can transform this room and make it look brand new. Now I don't want you to misunderstand what I just said. I've also made sure that I've priced this job out appropriately so it's a win for our company and a win for the customer. I'm not saying give work away. You still got to make sure you're making a profit, but this room is so tiny, and there's maybe 75 square feet of carpet that I have to actually clean that's around the wine stain, so it's not really a big deal. In most cases, you're not going to need this, but I like to take my stains to the next level. I don't like to mess around with them. So what I'm using is that secret pre-spray that I was telling you about, the Oxy Plus. Oxy Plus is great for helping to remove wine stains as well. Now, if you don't want to use Oxy Plus, what you can also use, just in case you ran out of it, is your Odor Rescue. The only difference between your Odor Rescue and your Oxy Plus is your Odor Rescue actually has a deodorizer. Remember, whenever you're trying to get a stain out for a customer, always agitate your chemistry. This will actually help in the process. If you're having a tough time removing stains, a lot of times what I have found is it's because you're not following all the steps. Every step is important. Let's hot water extract one last time. Now remember, I did pre-spray this with that secret pre-spray, the Oxy Plus. So I'm going to clean the entire room again, but I'm going to rinse out my stain thoroughly. Sometimes you got to repeat these processes over and over until you get the results that you're looking for. I'm kind of a perfectionist, so I don't like to mess around with my stains. What that means is that I will do whatever it takes to remove it. If you want to be a specialty stain expert, you want to mix up some more of the Stain Rescue into a pump-up sprayer and spray a reasonable amount over the stain and then rake it into the fibers and leave it for the next 24 hours. Be sure to tell the customer to keep their animal and kids off of it because it can irritate the skin. Once it dries, it'll self-neutralize. Come on, who let the dogs out? Look at that. Compared to that red wine stain, what do you think the customer is going to say?
Well, George, Tommy and I had spent at least 3 hours with our little steam cleaner. We looked up on the internet how to get red wine out. We tried every single thing and we spent 3 hours and we made such a mess, and I just really regret not calling you first, and I wasted all that time and it made it worse. So thank you very much. It looks really perfect. Really appreciate it.
You're welcome, Loretta. We love you. You're a VIP customer.
Well, we make a lot of messes and you clean them out. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Loretta.
Yeah.
Blech! This next video, guess what? It's cat vomit. I love cats and dogs. They keep us in business. The more that they vomit on the carpet, the more work that we have. Now, this is a great technique to get out cat vomit.
The product that we're going to use for this cat vomit is Stain Rescue. The reason is because the owner's son just told me that the cat ate a plant and it's not supposed to, and it barfed it up. A plant is organic, and that's what Stain Rescue is for, organic stains. Now, if the animal got into the garbage and was eating some food, there may be a bunch of synthetic dyes in that food, so we may want to try Red Rescue instead. Now let's hot water extract. Whenever you're hot water extracting, you want to make sure that you've bled your line so you have it at the hottest temperature, especially for a situation like this, because a lot of times that temperature is going to activate your chemistry and help it to work better. Now look at those vomit stains. I mean, this is awesome. The customer is going to love us. This is such a great tip that I'm giving you. The Oxy Plus or the Odor Rescue mixed up in hot water, using it all the time when you can't get a stain out. This really works. You're going to fall in love with this process, and you're noticing that I'm using it again and again and again because it's such a great technique. Grab your rake and let's agitate the chemistry one last time. Okay, let's hot water extract. Now you'll notice whenever we're taking out a stain, sometimes the techniques will work right away, sometimes they won't. Sometimes you have to repeat the steps over and over to get the results you're looking for. Whatever it takes, you may have to use a combination or come up with some creative solutions of your own, but we want to get the stain out for the customer. That's the bottom line. Here's a really good trick if you want to take it to the next level. Squirt a little bit more of that Stain Rescue on top of the vomit spots, leave it, and over the next 24 hours, it'll look even better. There you have it. The green vomit spots are gone, and we have another satisfied customer.
Can you say diarrhea? That sounds like money to me. I'm the diarrhea master. That's the one thing, when I go into a specialty stain situation, no matter what it is, I'm the master. I can't wait to get that stain out. And when the customer sees that I'm excited to get out that diarrhea, guess what? I got the job. Now, this next situation is a really cool technique. Take a look.
Now this situation is a diarrhea stain. We came out and originally hot water extracted it, and it wicked back up. So we're going to make sure that it doesn't do it again. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my Odor Rescue. Now I'm going to apply a reasonable amount on the stain and then agitate it. What's great about the Odor Rescue is that not only is it going to help remove the stain, but it's a deodorizer, so it's going to smell good too. Bleed your line to the hottest temperature your truck mount can produce. Now let's hot water extract. The reason that you wanted to get your temperature to the hottest your truck mount can produce is because you want to use a sanitizing process. Because it's diarrhea, we want to make sure that we can clean this stain as good as possible for the customer. Let's use Stain Rescue. Mix part A and part B into a pump spray bottle, spray a reasonable amount onto the stain, and then agitate it with a rake. Now take Saran wrap and place it over the diarrhea stain. You can use this for all sorts of different stains, coffee, urine. This is a great way to show the customer how professional you are, but the reason that you're doing this is because if you can keep that chemistry moist, it's going to work longer. So tell the customer to leave it in place for the next 24 hours, don't remove it, and then tomorrow when they take it up, it should be gone. If it's not, then let them know this is a stain that's probably not going to come out, and you could do a bonded insert or some kind of repair for them. What's great about this is you're showing the customer how much more professional you are than the next guy.
Now I have to admit, when I got to this next job, they had a flood, and what we were doing is we're reinstalling the carpet, replacing pad in certain areas, but she left a purse on her carpet that the dye transferred onto the rug. And when we got there, I thought for sure it was permanent and we weren't going to get it out. But lo and behold, this technique worked.
The customers had a minor flood here, and she had all of her purses on her carpet, and there was a black one right here in this spot, and she got black dye on the carpet. It transferred from her purse. Now they pulled up the carpet and was drying out the area before we showed up, and they just want us to reinstall this for them. So we're going to try to get out that black dye stain. Now the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to do a whole bunch of dry strokes before I put any moisture down on that and just see what happens. And you can see already I'm removing about 70% of that black dye stain by just doing dry strokes. And sometimes if you just go in there and hit it with any kind of spot cleaner or extraction, get moisture on it, you have a possibility of setting it. So in a situation that's crucial like this where you got black dye on the carpet, I would always try some dry strokes first just to see what happens. Now I'm going to go ahead and hit it with the hot water extraction. I'm using Heat Wave, and look at this. We're just pulling this right out. So fortunately, the carpet protector on this carpet was really good, and we're going to be able to save the day in this situation. So now they're not going to have to replace their carpet. All we got to do is reinstall it.
Grease and adhesive are really simple stains to get out, but you know what? They're a little sensitive, so you got to make sure that you do it properly. You can't just go over it real quick. You want to thoroughly rinse out those pollutants so that they don't wick back up to the surface and you get a callback. And this is a really effective way to handle those situations.
This is a grease spot. This carpet was installed about a week ago, and it's a commercial office. And either the movers or the installers got grease on their boot and walking around, or one of the salespeople, and so they want us to get these grease spots out. There's also an adhesive spot that I'm going to show you in a minute, and they want us to remove these so that their carpet can look really nice for their new office. And so I'm using a citrus gel and bone scraping this into the fibers. And this is a great technique in order to agitate the chemistry to make it work properly. And then we'll leave that and we'll come back and extract it in about maybe 15 minutes while we're setting everything up. Now let's go ahead and extract this. We're going to be using PROCHEM Heat Wave in our solution to do the extraction in this situation. We want to be able to remove as much of the pollutants as possible. And you just got to rinse it out thoroughly. You don't want to just do a quick stroke over it and think it's gone. You really want to take your time, rinse it out. You want to do strong dry strokes because you don't want this to wick back up. So if this is grease or adhesive or something that can attract soil, if you just go over it real quick, it's going to come back on you. You're going to get a call back. The customer is going to think that you're not very good at carpet cleaning. Now right here we have some more of the grease. We're going to take our bone scraper and some more citrus gel, and we're just going to put that down on the carpet. And like I said, PROCHEM citrus gel is like one of my favorite products. I mean, I get out more stains using this product than any other product. I mean, all the other products are great, but this is my staple product. Whenever you have adhesive or glue on the carpet, you can use power solvent or citrus gel. Take your bone scraper and aggressively agitate it into the fibers. What happened in this situation is they were installing the carpet, and at the seams they had too much glue. It squirted up through the middle and worked its way to the tips of the fibers, and now it's attracting soil. So what we're going to do is we're going to let this work and wait about 15 to 20 minutes before we extract it. Now if you can't get your hoses up into the office, you could always use a portable. But fortunately in this situation, we were able to get our hoses up. It was only on the 3rd floor. Now we're going to extract this out thoroughly. Now remember what I was saying about that last stain, the grease one? You can't just go over it real quick and think that it's just going to come out. You really got to take your time to work it out, rinse it out thoroughly, and use very strong dry strokes. Whenever you're removing a stain like this, you want to make sure that you've bled your line so that your solution is at the maximum temperature that your truck mount can provide. When you have really hot extraction water, it's also going to help to remove that adhesive or that glue because it's going to loosen it up so that way you can extract it properly. Now, the one thing when you're doing a job like this, even though it's a small job, that this is the only thing that you were called out for, if you can successfully remove these stains, then you're going to get more work. One of the salespeople spilt an entire 7-Up on the carpet. They tried to clean it up best they could, but there was so much sugars in the soda pop that now it's attracting soil and it's looking really ugly on their brand new carpet. Now whenever you're extracting soda, you can't just go over it real quick and think, oh, I did it, I'm a great carpet cleaner. No, you really got to take your time. Now you'll notice my strokes are really slow. The slower the stroke, the more flushing that you have on the carpet to remove those sugars is so important. And you'll notice that this is just a soda pop stain, but I'm going over it and over it and over it because I want to rinse out those sugars. I don't want to call back. I don't want in 3 weeks it's going to start attracting soil in this area. Now if you rinse this out thoroughly, you're going to get a reputation as a carpet cleaner who doesn't have stains that come back. And a lot of customers are just used to that. They think carpet cleaners, they come out and clean a stain and they always are going to come back. Well, the reason is because they're not using the right chemistry, they're not extracting properly, they're maybe not using a truck mount, they're using a portable. I mean, there's just so many different variables to what could cause a stain to come back, but a lot of it has to do with just quality of work. If you just take your time and do strong dry strokes, you're just going to have a lot more success. Now, if this was a Coca-Cola and it had a stain, we would want to use the PROCHEM Zoop product. Well done! Now you could always finish it off with some tannin product, rake it in, and leave it.
Now this next job, these people had the biggest stains that I've seen in a long time. And I'm pretty sure that they were grease. It's really hard to tell exactly what a stain is, but this technique worked.
This office has these huge grease spots. Now they could be coffee, tea, soda pop, who knows what these could be, but they look like grease spots. I've been cleaning carpets long enough to kind of be able to tell the difference between those stains. So in this situation, we're really going to have to thoroughly extract and pre-spray, and we're going to have to do everything we can to make sure that these stains don't come back. Now they don't have a water faucet for us on the outside of this office, so what we're going to do is we're going to take the aerator off their sink in their bathroom, and we're going to put our special adapter on their faucet, and then we're going to attach our hose to this special adapter. Now remember, whenever you're cleaning an office where you have to use your adapter, don't leave the adapter behind, because you don't want to get to your next job and need it and go, oh my gosh, I left it at that other office. So we're going to attach our hose onto here just like you would outside using a faucet that you attach a garden hose to. This is a great adapter. And when you take this off, make sure you put their aerator back on too, so that it looks like you never used their faucet. Now let's get ready to do this job. The product that I would like to use on this situation is Power Solvent. You could use POG, but POG is probably your most aggressive cleaner that you'll have in your arsenal. So we're going to start with Power Solvent. I love this product. We're going to put a reasonable amount on the grease spots. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to pre-spray it over the top with some Oxy Plus. Do you remember that little secret pre-spray? I want to use everything I can to make sure that these stains aren't going to come back. So the combination of those two are going to be a really good secret potion for this situation. Now let's get our truck mount ready and let's bleed our line. Now we're in a parking lot, so it's not really going to matter where we're bleeding our line. So we're in the back here. We're going to bleed our line to 230 degrees, or you can get your truck mount to the hottest temperature your truck mount can possibly create in your solution line for you. And we're using PROCHEM Heat Wave. We're not going to be using an all fiber rinse. This carpet's really dirty, so we really want to go after it and rinse these out properly. Now that we've bled our line, let's hot water extract this with Heat Wave. Now you want to rinse this out thoroughly because we're not sure what this stain is, but whatever it is, it keeps wicking back to the surface on this carpet. So we want to really take our time, do slow, strong extraction strokes. You also want to make sure that you do really strong, slow, dry strokes. These are just as important because what you're doing is you're extracting the pollutants in the water into your waste tank and you're removing it from the carpet, and that's our main objective, is to remove the stain from the carpet. Here's our final results. We have removed the grease stains and we've done a final walkthrough with the customer to make sure they're completely satisfied. That's one of our 12-step processes. And then you'll notice that you can still see a little bit of staining on the carpet. Well, what I'm going to do to remove that is I'm going to spray coffee tannin on any areas where there's some browning or there's still some stains left that I wasn't able to remove with different cleaners. And then I'm going to rake this in, and this will actually, over the next 24 hours, take a lot of the dinginess or browning out in any of the stained areas. Now remember what I said, once you've actually got done using their faucet, make sure you put the aerator back. That's so important.
Now this next job, this was a brand new home. So I don't know what happened here, but somebody put out 2 cigarettes on this brand new carpet and they thought they were going to have to replace the entire room, or I was going to have to do these little bonded inserts. It is amazing what hot water extraction can do, so always try that first. Take a look.
This is a very unique situation. It's a brand new home with brand new carpet, and the builder has the new homeowner moving in tomorrow, and somebody came in here and put cigarettes out on the carpet. So they dropped their cigarette, stepped on it, dropped another cigarette, stepped on it, and in this situation, if you have my DVD bonded inserts, you'll know that we could do bonded inserts and correct this, and you wouldn't be able to see them. So that's one way we could go. But I've had enough experience with cigarette burns that I have found that if we use a product called citrus gel, that we can have some positive results with this product without having to do a bonded insert. So let's start here. Let's put down our PROCHEM citrus gel and use our bone scraper, and you'll notice that I'm aggressively agitating it. I'm not just, barely touching the carpet. I'm really working it in because I want this chemistry to penetrate the fibers. Now it's very important to leave this and let it do its work for you and wait about 15 to 20 minutes. And this can usually happen by the time you hook up your equipment and come in to extract it. So we'll go ahead and leave this, let it work, go get our equipment ready, and we'll come back and extract it. Okay, let's get this party started. Now look at that. By letting the chemistry wait 15 minutes so it does its job for us, we've come in with our heat wave at 230 degrees from our truck mounted system, and we've created miracles here. That's what I love about hot water extraction. Whenever you think you're not going to get a stain out or correct a situation, always hot water extract it, because you will be amazed how many times you're going to save the day. Then if you have any of the black tips still, you can take your duckbill scissors and trim those off. Sometimes you have to gut a fiber or two, but I mean, this builder is going to love us. We didn't have to do a bonded insert, we got the stain out, and I mean, we're really saving the day in this situation. I'm just so excited. The secret to specialty stain removal is if you have a product that's working, you keep using that product. And sometimes you have to do these steps 1 to 3 times. I mean, I've done these steps as many as 15 times in order to save the day. You just have to use your common sense without distorting the fibers, without blossoming the tips, without damaging it in the area. You don't want to get the stain out and all of a sudden have this just damaged section of carpet, because then you're not going to look like a very good carpet cleaner. You're not going to come across as a true professional. So you got to know when to stop, when to push ahead, and it's really a technique and talent. And look at this. I mean, do you remember what those burn marks looked like? I mean, they were awful. And I mean, seriously, when we talked to the builder, he thought he was going to have to replace the carpet in that room. So for a service call, we came out, we took care of this situation for him, and so we're coming out the hero on this job.
Well, I hope you enjoyed this DVD. Now remember, this is Specialty Stains Part 1. I'm also going to come out with Part 2 and Part 3 in high definition. Now, I don't want you to just watch these videos and be entertained by me. I want you to be out there looking for these specialty stains and correcting them yourself. Then log on to my website at carpetcleaningtradesecrets.com, go to the products page, and I have a testimonial box in there, and I want to hear the specialty stains that you're taking out and that these DVDs have helped you. Now remember, these situations are all 100% real jobs. And these are different techniques, and you know what? There's a lot of different techniques out there in different situations, so I'm going to try to record as many as I can for you. But if you just take a combination of what you've learned and you use common sense, you're going to really do a great job out there for the customer. Now remember, whenever you're doing any job, give it 110%, because I want you to look in the mirror and say, hey, I'm a winner. So that's what I want to leave you with, that you're a winner. So go out there and make me proud.